Hi guys, welcome to this series of our fertility treatments. Now I want to give you guys a bit of the background of where we're from, of how long we've been trying and what we have done so far. So actually, when me and Jeff started dating, we actually had a pregnancy scare in the first 3 months we were together. I was gone to Europe and I had not had my period in over 2 months. And we actually had a little bit of a scare. Turns out that it was mostly due to stress because my uncle had just passed away and it was very stressful and hard on me. And we had to talk right away about having children. And we both decided that it was a little too early. Jeff hadn't been separated for a long time, even if he already had a child of 5 years old. And we didn't really want them to have a big age difference. We thought 6-7 years would be good. So we agreed on that. And then at Christmas, as my final gift, Jeff decided to give me a gift of another child, and he said, all right, let's get ready, let's start. And that was 2.5 years ago. We tried for a year to a year and a half. After a year and a half, nothing happened. Obviously, I never got pregnant. There was no miscarriages or anything, and being as how Jeff already has a daughter, I figured the problem was me, and we decided that we would go and get tested. So we went to St. Justin's Hospital. And because here in Quebec, in my province in Canada, fertility treatments are covered by our Medicare insurance, which is actually really cool. It's really nice that we actually have a chance. So we automatically went to do the tests, and initially one of the technicians that did the verifications on me noticed like a benign tumor in my uterus and said that maybe that's what the problem was, that it was blocking any conception possible from coming into the uterus and for my eggs to be inseminated at all. So they thought that was the initial issue. And back to my gynecologist, he literally said that he didn't see it. Actually, at first, when we got back to the gynecologist, he said he never received that that test. He didn't have the results, and that he had no notice that anything was wrong. And he said, well, I'll look myself later. And for about 2 months, I still didn't know if the problem was me or not, and it was actually very hard. And I started asking them if it was, like, you know, my skip periods, because it happened a couple of times afterwards that I skipped periods. And when my grandmother died a year and a half ago, in February of 2012, 2013, my grandmother passed away, I skipped a period. And then we got married in May 2013, and that was very stressful, and I skipped a period again. All these were always thoughts that maybe we got pregnant, but no. And so they thought maybe I had cysts on my ovaries, and no, nothing was there. Everything is normal. I only skip periods because of stress. So Jeff got tested, and it turns out that he had a low count and a low morphology also, and they were too slow. But not too bad. They were very hopeful. They were saying, oh, well, it's under the norm, but you're fine. So they decided that we would try artificial insemination in November of 2013, which we tried and failed. And it was very hard on me because I just figured that we needed just that little extra push and that everything would work. However, Jeff's quantity at the artificial insemination in November was even less than during the test that he had done. Already at the tests, he had about 25% less than the norm, and then when it came to the artificial insemination, he had 50% less. So it was very hard, and we could not continue with the trials between December, January, February, March, because I was in university. So we had to stop for that period of time, which was very hard on me also, very stressful. And it's not something fun to deal with, to know that you want to have a child and there's absolutely nothing you can do. And especially with around me at work, so many girls are leaving on maternity leave, or people are falling pregnant. My best friend just had her second baby in June, but back then she announced to me that she was pregnant, and I was so happy for her, but at the same time in my head it was always, why not me? Why can't I fall pregnant? And it was hard to deal with. And of course, you said I decided to still go through university, to not stop. Actually, after the test in August, I actually applied for university beginning of October, realizing that we had fertility issues, because I said I did not want anything to stop me. with the results in September that we did have fertility issues, I decided that I didn't want to sit down and do nothing and just wait to have a child. So I had dreams of going to university in history, and that's what I did. I subscribed, I applied to university, I was accepted, and in January I started. So since we couldn't try between January to April, that was a little hard too. And then we had the trip to Disney World, which would come into the way, but it all fell in perfectly, and we were able, the day that we came back from our vacation, to go directly to the hospital and to try for a second artificial insemination on May 29th. And when we went there, Jeff had tried for 2 weeks to drink less coffee, less alcohol, be less stressed, and do all these things that you need to do to up your sperm count, and it was again less than the first try and less than his test, and that was a hard blow. It was really hard, but we were hopeful, because even if you don't have the 5 million that they put in an artificial insemination, we only had 1 million at that time, and it was hard. It was like, instead of having 100% chances up in your artificial insemination, where in theory you have 20% chances of it working, and that is for infertile people, completely infertile people, and since I have no fertility issues, for us it should be a go. It should be easy peasy, in other words. But with the fact that we only had 20% of the quantity that we needed to have enough to push the sperm count, or the sperm, to have enough sperm to go all the way up to the fallopian tubes and to inseminate and for it to work and all that, it was a hard blow for it not to work again. And well, we had the result in June, and when I called in, they decided, and the day of the insemination, the doctor said that if it didn't work that time, next time we would go straight to in vitro. And actually a week from today I will have my first appointment. I do not know exactly what in vitro will consist of. All I know is that I will have to stab myself with needles a couple times a week, or at least that's what people are telling me, that I will have to inject myself with hormones for 21 to 30 days, even if I'm not the one with the fertility issues, because they will have to extract more eggs, and naturally I don't supply 10 to 20 eggs per month. I do one like everybody else. So I will have to be injected with hormones so that they can extract eggs, and that's another thing I'm afraid of them going in and extracting eggs from me, which is apparently extremely painful. So this is all stressing me out, and it's not a moment to be stressed. You're supposed to relax and be zen, and that is not possible for me. Stress is very, very, very big. That could also be another issue, because during this time we haven't just stopped trying, we are still continuing to try. It'll be 2.5 years now that we're trying to have a child, and it's been a struggle. It's been a long ride, but it's gonna come, it's gonna happen, and I would like to bring you guys along with me on my journey with in vitro and fertility issues. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Comment below if you have had issues also. Maybe we can chat, talk, and you can give me support, anything at all that can help me breathe better, and to have hope would be great. So comment, like, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next week with an update. Bye!